This is gonna hurt.
This week's episode of Biking with Panda documents a truck camper build I began a couple weeks ago. I'd planned to have it done for the Hydro Cuts Trail Day on the 12th, about a week from the day I picked the camper up. Old campers are very hit or miss, depending on the care they've received and how they were stored. I found this one for $2,000 online, and drove several hours to pick it up from Hamilton. The owner had mostly rebuilt it, and it looked pretty good, but I noticed a few things later that made it more of a job than I thought. It had a few conveniences, like a vented box that I'd be repurposing as battery storage. It also had some weird quirks, like a water connection that went nowhere. There's no electrical system to speak of, but I wanted a fresh start anyway. There's a few leaks, like from all the seams, and some wide open exposed wood to close off. So, let's get to work. These projects always begin at the hardware store. Prepare to be overwhelmed by the assortment of tools meant for various tasks, and prepare to use at least one of them incorrectly. But don't worry, you'll still hopefully get the job done. I alluded earlier to issues that made the build more challenging. In my case, the builder used fiberglass insulation, which is known to hold moisture and cause mold. Since this one already had moisture issues, I'd rather not take my chances, and I'm replacing it with fancy shiny Reflectix, essentially plastic bubble wrap sandwiched between two layers of foil, just like the stuff used for car dashboards. Just like the stuff used for car dashboards. I got this sweet telescoping ladder so I could do all the work on the roof. Turns out, the thing folds up small enough to fit in the camper so I can bring it with me. I measured the roof to make sure the solar panels would fit, and then took a 5-hour drive to pick up a couple 335-watt modules. Unfortunately, when I tried to lift one up the ladder the next day, it just didn't work. They're too big, too heavy, and no one was around to help. So instead, I worked on insulating the inside and sealed some leaks while planning my next steps to get the panel up. At this point, I was pretty frustrated. I mean, I've built a trailer before. A few years ago, in 2015, my partner and I had a 30-foot travel trailer I retrofitted with solar and fixed leaks for too. Our cat was along for the journey, and though our lives were in turmoil, I was happy, having fun with my project and learning valuable skills. I didn't do everything 100% correctly, but I did it. If you want to build your own camper, go get one and do it. Make your dreams real, experience life, and don't ever let anyone discourage you, especially not me. As it turns out, scaffolding is the best way to hoist solar panels up onto the roof of the camper. It's cheap, easy to put together by yourself, and it's a total game changer for painting or anything else regarding access to the large portions of the roof. It also allowed me to somewhat safely lift the modules up and anchor them into place, all the while looking like Country Joe. I used some discarded bits of siding as sled runners under the feet to slide the module onto the roof without scratching it, something I wish I'd discovered before I'd scratched the roof using the other module's feet. Use plenty of silicone for a good seal to prevent leaks. There's so many ways to mount panels to a roof, but I went for the simplest, just mounting for some wooden blocks to prevent the wind from tearing the roof while I get lumber to reinforce it with. If things look a bit out of order here, it's because it is. I removed the wall to get all the insulation out and seal up leaks using this leak seal spray, which annoyingly clogged its nozzle every few strokes. On Monday, I was able to get to the dump and drop off the waste wall and ceiling material. And you know, if you haven't ever visited your local trash heap, you really should. There is so much cool shit down there, doing my best not to sound like Charlie Kelly from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. With all the junk out of the way, I was able to finish installing the solar panels and run electrical circuits through the camper. I used a junction box on the roof with plenty of silicone sealant as an easy way to run the wires inside. I never get as much done in a single day as I think I will, but I actually got the electrical working. Finally! I had some issues getting the fridge running when connecting the inverter through the charge controller, but once I fused it directly to the battery instead, it worked great. No overcurrent alerts or emergency shutdown anymore. Just running a regular mini fridge, no freezer, no need. I've got my laptop running off the 12 volt using a universal power adapter as well. After vacuuming the walls, the floor, and scrubbing all the surfaces, I bought a twin mattress and put it in place. Inspecting all the areas after morning rain, it would seem all the leaks are resolved. I just need to fix a couple more things before it's officially good to go. I've got LEDs working on switches in different areas, including one outside the door as a nightlight. And though the rain kept me from Blue Mountain's opening weekend, I did get out to ride during the week in between the many hours of work. This build is only halfway done, so be sure to subscribe and tune in for more updates. But until next time, you know what to do. Go ride.